Hey guys, Louis here. Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to my garden here in Acorn Hill. It is 6:30 in the morning and the sun literally just shone here on my potting shed, and I am about to plant a bulb, a summer bulb called Crinum. These are called, in common circles, they're known as swamp lilies, and this Crinum is the powellii. There it is, the powellii kind. You have to excuse an occasional run of planes in my backyard here, but hopefully the bird songs and my voice will be loud enough that you'll be able to hear me. But I am planting these today. They came from Costco and I had no idea how humongous these things are. And look, they're at least the size of the actual paper bag it came in. And I was planning in earlier last night to plant them. I haven't really seen them. It's my first time to grow them. Originally planning on planting them in these pots, but these pots are not big enough, not nearly high and tall enough to accommodate these crinums, and so I'm thinking of getting a different pot. Look, I mean, just this one big crinum alone, it is going to overcrowd this pot if I were to plant them in. The original idea was to plant them, 3 of them in one pot, so I think I may have to get a much bigger pot from Home Depot in order to accommodate these. But this video will be in 2 parts, and so this morning, like I said, 6:30 in the morning, we get the eastern sun. There's our pear tree and the eastern sun is right over there, but it's planting and propagating and taking out, hardening off some of the plants that we have here in the garden. This is a couple of seed packets that I planted, veggies. I forgot what veggies they are, but they're I don't have a greenhouse, I don't have a cold frame, and I'm using all these mini propagator type things in order to get my plants in. But this big bulb is a monster, and so we'll see how this goes. I'm excited to show them to you. By the way, these lilies will look like this in September. Sometime September, August to September is where they will be coming up. It comes with a turf of long strappy leaves at the base, a long fibrous stem that will go up, and looking forward to all these blossoms, these flowers that will come up at the tip. So we'll see how this goes. This came from Longfield Gardens, which is one of the official growers, I guess, where Costco gets their plants. It is full sun. It requires soil that is very well draining, but is very hungry. As a general rule, when you plant bulbs like this, they love a lot of food. And what I use, just so I could give you a preview of what I use this brand. Well, you can't even see the label right now because this has been out in the elements and the label has faded. But it is made of fish. This fish emulsion is concentrate. I got this entire big jug for $5. I go to the Home Depot. Oh, there it is. It's called Alaska. More Bloom, dedicated to getting bigger amounts of phosphorus, and there you go, phosphate and potassium, and that is what's going to help with root development and blossom development, flowers, all of that for the coming season. So I am going to go to Home Depot, get me a good. We will get to the second part of this video pretty soon. See you later. Well, as with anything, when I go to Home Depot, I get very distracted, and look at this big terracotta pot. That's just $9.98. This used to be a big one, costing $24, so that's not a bad option for the bulbs. But anyhow, what I did after that Home Depot trip was I finally found a really appropriate terracotta pot for all the crinums that I have. The bulbs you saw earlier were tall They were bulky and bulbous. Needed pots that are tall and heavy, so that when we put everything in it, in this mix, this is just a regular compost with perlite mix. It needs a lot of drainage, and so when you doubt that you've put enough perlite in your mix, put more, because it could use that free draining type that we want to plant them in. Any case, I found this conical shape, narrow at the bottom, wider at the top. I'm putting some broken crocks and pots on the bottom for drainage, and you will see that this will fit this entire pot with 3 bulbs. And I put more perlite down the bottom just to make sure that there's enough. Forgot that when you put perlite in, you don't pour that all too vigorously because that is very dusty. But look at the root system of this bulb. In planting crinums, what I try to do, and I follow what is being told when you plant bulbs, regardless of size, you make sure that you plant them where the soil level will reach the neck. That is the beginning part where the plant becomes green from the brown papery wrapper skin of the bulb. So at the neck level is where we will fill this up with soil, and that will protect the entire bulb, the entire dried up root system, which will be revived as we water it at regular intervals. That will revive the plant, revive the entire bulb, and hopefully by the time this, by the way, is plant tone. I am putting slow release fertilizer, a lot of them. This also, what I found, this is made by by Biotone. It doesn't burn the plant. So similar to Osmocote, you put a lot of them. Either you mix it into the soil or you put it near the root system. In my experience, it never burns the plant, and the plant is all happy for it. It is a long-term investment, and when I say long-term, just for the entire growing season, it will serve the plant very well, feeding it apart from the water. And I also like to use liquid fertilizer in very, very weak solution and ratio. When I say weak ratio, I mean a part of liquid fertilizer to 10 parts water. And that would be the almost every other day feed that this plant will get. And so far, things are looking good. We are just packing this up with planting medium with that compost perlite combination, and you can see clearly where the neck, where the plant is exposed, beginning from the neck of the bulb. Now during the growing season, what I will do is water this regularly, almost every other day, with a weak potash solution into water. I usually have my 2.5 gallon watering can. Note, if I was able to put in also Espoma, Biotone, slow release, and that should be good enough food for the entire growing season as well. But knowing how hungry these plants are, not only do I rely on slow release fertilizers, in my experience, they also need the easy to mix granular soluble fertilizers. An all-purpose tomato feed does the trick very well. So they're well balanced, and that's usually what they will rely on also during watering days during the growing season. And guys, I can't stress this enough. Using a lot of perlite or anything that will loosen up the planting medium is what these bulbs also will rely on and will benefit from. Most of them grow in climates where water just runs through them. They feed really well in those areas, but they don't also normally sit in stagnant water. Sitting in stagnant water will cause the bulbs to rot, and we don't want that also to decay. I plan on displaying these pots either at the front entrance of our house or over at pergola number 1 or number 2 in the backyard. Those of you kind folks have followed me since I had my YouTube channel, and if you are familiar with the backyard of the property, there are 4 pergolas that I built 2 years ago, and pergola number 1, number 2 doesn't have anything that anchors the entrance up the stairway leading up to the elevated garden. And so these tall pots would be the perfect anchor for the entrance leading up to the elevated garden. As always, here's hoping that you liked the video for today. It is a basic instructional video on how to plant summer bulbs, which I like to have out in the garden. That will give us a good show between May, June, and July. As soon as these plants start growing, I will give you an update sometime soon. As always, thanks for joining me on my channel. This is Louie. Hope to see you back soon here in Acorn Hill. Bye-bye for now.